Welcome back to
Pedro!
Five.
Pedro!
What?
Hope's stuck down the well! You gotta go save him!
Well, what do you think I'm trying to do?
Begrudgingly, but yes, true.
Anyway, welcome back to Final Fantasy XIII, where Hope's been stuck in a hole. The rest of the gang have done stuff, and we're in a cave.
Well, actually, we're more like
Commentary.
we're actually in the middle of a canyon of sorts.
Canyon.
A cave canyon.
No, we're not in a cave. It's just a canyon. Dark as it looks, but, you know.
It's like
caves, canyons, they're all the same to me.
Sure. It's like that beat thing, Peter Jackson's King Kong, at the bottom of the ravine, but it looks darker just because it's right there at the bottom.
So, welcome to Pulse, where the wild animals run, where the team will have to have their bonds tested, where togetherness will be celebrated. And boy, will it be lame.
Indeed. Alright. These characters never at any point actually bonded. The characters are just together just because they kinda are the only ones who can... they're the only ones who understand each other's situation, really. Like, these characters don't really have any reason to be together.
That's my point, is that this is the part where the characters truly show how much they bonded, quote-unquote.
Yeah, sure.
Reminder. The game has kind of been hyping up Pulse as this ultra-deathland of sorts, which people fear indefinitely. And now that we're down here, it's,
Whatever. Probably all the character development was probably cut out when with all that deleted content that got left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, I wonder, do you feel like the deleted content could have actually have helped this game?
Well, we don't know for sure.
Even with it?
We don't know for sure, but it's a possibility. Remember, the art director told us that they had enough cut content to make another full-blown game.
Which technically, isn't that what the sequels were made from?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the areas were, but we don't know what cut story. Okay, yeah, but the cut story content we don't know. That's what I mean.
Anyway, you were going on to
Hold on.
Hope! You're collapsed
Mildly
there! Who
injured.
attacked you?
Turns out Hope drowned because he had his head stuck in 5 centimeters of water.
That would be just so fitting, wouldn't it?
Alright, now time for a bonfire scene.
So
You
what
could say he's hopeless.
Yes.
So, what happened to Hope?
Checks in the mail, Shira.
Get in the corner and put on your dunce hat, little lady.
No.
No, I said checks in the mail.
I don't think I will.
So this is how it ends. Just wait.
Wait, why are you talking like he's dead? So this is how it ends, like just...
Not a single soul for miles around. Not a single clue about this whole sea mess. What I'm saying is, we did well just getting this far.
Yeah, sure, keep telling yourself that.
But we could go a little further.
Meaning?
There's still
Honestly, why don't we just end the... Actually, no, that's right. Even if we did end the game here, that could just mean that the Foul Sea will find some other patsies to do their job for them.
Thing this time. We won't get another chance.
Erba. The place it all began. Hope. The place where the pulse...
Is that why you've passed out, Hope?
Yeah,
because you had a revelation?
Yes, Verba is the last remaining Pulse City.
It'll be the place where we find the answers we're looking for.
I'm guessing... So my guess for why Hope passed out is that the Foul Sea pumped a vision into him that essentially more or less spelled out to go there.
I don't know, Joe, but like this... at this point, I'm just going, yes.
Okay. Honestly, when we first saw this scene, this is where I thought, okay, so this is where Hope's Eidolon pops out, and the reason he needs their help is because
Hold
of
on, Java. I'm scared now for some reason. Seriously, why are you scared? You were perfectly confident and very...
Almost one scene ago, he was the one giving the motivational speech.
Seriously, it's like the writers turned to each other. Oh, right, we forgot to give him his Eidolon.
It's actually like the scenes are out of order. Like,
seriously,
know, right?
What the hell?
And this is this is what finally gets his Eidolon to come out.
If it was a case of Hope says that, but he's secretly insecure inside and he needs another boost, the game is not conveying it in any kind of way.
In order to you need to convey that properly. No, that scene with the tone and the music that they were doing, no, that was not at all the intent.
Also, I know what you're thinking. With this stat ramping, this is like Titan, right? Nope, it's Alexander.
Why?
You know, the someone that normally looks like a fucking fortress that shoots lasers out of its eyes. True, his Gestalt form will actually more resemble a bit more the classic design, but I really do question why they make it look like a giant robot like this.
Also, I love what Lightning just said there. It's telling you not to give up, except the lore has told us that Eidolons are literally there to help you die quicker. So where do you get out saying that the Eidolon is telling him not to give up?
I'm also wondering what the team's decision was in essentially making Hope the representative of the holy element, because Alexander is representative of that, and Hope's, limit break, quote-unquote, the equivalent of that, is basically the same as the holy animation of holy in Final Fantasy X. So,
the idea is that
because
Hope
of his
is
name, that's why. Hope.
Okay,
yes,
I guess the idea is that Hope is the innocent and pure one of the group.
No, he's not. He tried to kill Snow.
Yeah. Sorry, Jobo, that boat has sailed a long time ago.
Says. Are you implying that the game's been making sense up to this point?
Also, when it comes to the Eidolon battles, this is actually one of the easiest one, even without this. Go on, Pedro, sorry.
Also, I have to say, Lightning's pose that she was making right now as the battle was starting was really awkward, where she just hangs her sword up in the air right there. Such an
Alexander's vehicle form.
Such an impractical fighting pose. I much prefer the other one she does, where she has her sword like right beside her thigh. That's a much better fighting pose. That fighting pose just looks awkward. I know it's completely pointless shit that I'm complaining about, but still.
Again, that doesn't seem like a very practical form to move around
and
on,
there
but
you go.
okay.
It's just like that. As that.
The Eidolons appeared to set us free through death. But now...
Oh, God.
I think maybe they're here to snap us out of our slumps.
No, the lore is clearly established that they're there to help you to an easy death, and that's what they've done to most, let's see.
I get the feeling, Jova, that the idea that the game is trying to convey is that for a long time people thought that was the case, but apparently that's not at all what it is. Thing is, the game doesn't really do a good job explaining it. Also, that's the thing. I get the feeling, Jova, that the idea behind... Oh, great. Let's crap more on Saz, because why not? Honestly, Jova, I really get the feeling that the idea was that they were trying to do is that, Hope is secretly been very, very, insecure and fearful up until this point. They just didn't show it, like Teo said. The problem is, we already had that. Hope already had his character arc. It's a bit late to now suddenly try to give him a new one.
Not only that, but trying to change the lore up on the Eidolons, I don't feel like it works because we've established that the Falsi are evil. So if anything, okay. If maybe Hope had said that we can use him more like this, I get that. But no, now he's suggesting that the actual real reason for the Eidolon is to toughen up.
Also, Bundles Hope just jump cut to one of the animations. Oops.
Oh my god, some poppin'. Why?
I get the feeling too, making the game run at 60 FPS causes some of the scripted animations to glitch.
The first time I visually noticed like that, but yes.
No,
what could be one of the selling points if you actually can like this game?
This stone, it's... Look familiar.
27 parts in.
It's a kind of soup. It's in the last stage.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, we finally can get side quests of some sort.
An open area and side quest, yes.
Allow me to rephrase this, Dej. An RPG where you have to go for like 20 hours before you can do anything aside from move forward.
And turn to
through a narrow hallway at that.
Still, even in this state, they can't forget the task they once had.
So there you go. When you become a thief,
Translation, help them solve their problems, and that will apparently free them?
no, more like make them feel better or something, like because they're doomed to eternal regret because they died but without doing what they wanted to do. So basically, the side quests are do these tasks that these original thief were supposed to do because they lost their focus. Eventually, when you become a thief for a long time, eventually you turn into one of these things. So basically, there's a crap ton of thief over the course of this entire area that haven't completed their focus properly, meaning this is your chance to do side quests. And by side quests, I mean bounty quests, meaning there's a monster, go kill it. That's literally all it is. Basically, it's just a really bunch of random monsters and optional bosses.
I can't help but wonder what some of the Falsi were thinking when they wanted them to kill off a certain monster. That is from Pulse itself.
This right here is literally your entire game's side content. Just go here to kill insert monster here's name. It really boils down to just that. There we go. See, it even has a little star marker telling you where the monster is. That's the basic gist of it, really. Some of them are pretty cool. However, most of them, I will argue, are pretty lame and wasteful.
A lot of them do feature just skins. Not even sometimes a palette swap, but other times just a giant version of an pre-existing enemies. It's kind of a bit like some of the rare enemies from Xenoblade Chronicles, to make a comparison to that. Also, to answer your question, Jova, that's because most of these were actually branded instead by the Falsi that we saw doing the intro of Pulse Titan, because the entire stick with him, because unfortunately we're not really going to see much of him in this run. Sorry?
Terra Incognita. It means unknown land. Basically.
Yeah, but I don't understand why the English pronunciation keeps fucking up the term.
Well, here's the thing too. That word is pronounced like that in my language. So.
No, right, no, but anyway, basically, Jova, the stick with Titan is that it controls all of the ecosystem, quote unquote, through a sort of a Darwinism, as in the strong survives. But sometimes he has to regulate what happens. Sometimes he does that by literally eating away the stuff that, like some of the animals, like the turtles, like we saw in the cutscenes. Other times he brands humans, when they were present on Pulse, to become the Seas to do the job for him. But unfortunately, it was a case of they were not able a lot of times to finish their job because, the praise were too strong in that kind of sense.
Interesting lore.
The idea, yeah, that's the basic.
Okay. You know what? I'll be fair. The way you recounted, that lore just sounded interesting. I just wish that the game itself actually explained this stuff better.
Okay.
Like, I'll be honest too. You could probably get a job curating Final Fantasy lore.
Plenty of people have done that, Jova. Plenty of people have done explanations on YouTube, video essays and explanations of the entire Fabula Nova Crystallis lore. So you can easily get that on YouTube if you really want to know more about it.
Curious, how would you guys have integrated more of the lore actually into the story itself? That's right. Have Vanille and Fang probably mentioned this stuff.
Okay, the Titan stuff does get at least a bit of lampshady, not lampshady, but talking a bit. If you actually go to the side.
I want to read this. So they were all lit by the display of fireworks. Lightning felt the creeping shadow of Pulse's menace. Snow and Sarah pledged themselves to each other and swore to overcome their destiny. Saz prayed for the salvation of his son. Hope could never imagine losing his mother, Nora. Fang searched for a lost companion, and Vanille wished for a miracle. Believe it or not, that is actually foreshadowing.
Yeah, it is. Because there's another part of the 13 days we haven't seen yet that's going to be shown later, which does feel a bit more of a retcon than anything.
Let's see who failed their Fosse. Hold on, their Fosse? It's focus.
Okay, I get the game is just making a prank at us. He's going to tell waka 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 then.
No, let me just see, the thing is about the animations here. See, remember, when this PC port originally released back in 2014, it only had 30 FPS. It didn't have an option for 60. So that was patched in later. I get the feeling the developers originally didn't intend to put in a 60 FPS because they knew that it caused those minor little glitches here and there. But then people started complaining about how crap this PC port is. Why is my 60 FPS option? And you know, I honestly, looking back, I get after playing through its entire PC port, the developer should have done what the World of Final Fantasy team did and just stuck to their guns and just keep the 30 FPS in, because just because you can raise the frame rate, that doesn't necessarily mean you should. If the game itself is not made to support that frame rate and causes problems, it's better to just leave it as it is. The game doesn't really require 60 FPS anyway. The combat is turn-based anyway, so whatever. Remember, even in the Xbox Series consoles, 13.1 is the only of the three that was not given an FPS boost. So they knew, which tells me that the Xbox backwards compatibility team knew and realized, yeah, raising the frame rate on this one causes things to glitch, so let's just keep it as it is. I get the feeling the PC porting team should have stuck to their guns as well, because, yeah, don't get me wrong, it doesn't break the game, it's just minor little things, like, but yeah, you probably should have just kept this thing capped at 30.
Anyway, basically, Jova, the thing with Titan is that if you actually bother to go through his set of side quest, which is essentially a gauntlet, kind of like, but it basically tells you all about what they just said about, you know, the selection. You even get kind of a cutscene.
Right.
You do get a cutscene also where the characters do talk with Titan to an extent. The thing is that I didn't think, considering how it takes a lot of time and it's just a series of you know, more bounty quests, I didn't thought it was really that important to actually show, and I kind of stick with that. Again, if I had recorded this, I would have actually, you know, find the time to show it, but it was a case of I needed to pick and choose, essentially.
If I may, what exactly do his cutscenes amount to? Like, does he actually speak to them, or is the mark about where they
if I recall correctly,
his
it
answers?
starts... No. It starts with the characters noticing something. Then Titan actually speaks to them. His leader first phrase is pities the sea. Then he essentially goes full kind of Lex Luthor and he says, "Solve my maze," kind of like. And then, if I recall correctly, either Fang, Vanille, or both of them actually tell about what Titan tends to do, basically. And the rest is filled in by the data log.
And that's pretty much it for cutscenes with him?
If I recall correctly, yes. I don't remember if there's one after you clear all of these trials, because it's been actually a while since I actually played it through and through. I don't think there is, especially because a sort of a...
We're home.
As part of sort of a small reward that you get is that one of the final enemies that you get to beat is part of a special category of enemies.
Oh, that is funny, Lightning. You're hilarious, Lightning.
But yeah, that's basically pretty much it. It's not much. Could have been, you know, improved than anything, but it's something, I suppose.
So, Pedro, what say you in response to Lightning's suggestion that things won't be boring from here?
Okay, to be fair, Gran Pulse is probably one of them probably the best area in the game. It's not.
That being said, remember, it's still this game, though.
It is, but okay. Here's the thing about Gran Pulse. The big problem with Gran Pulse is that there's nothing to do in here aside from killing monsters. And like I said, the side content is just doing the exact same thing you'll be doing for this entire game, killing monsters.
With some funny cutscenes here and there.
No, yes, that is true, and I will show those. It's just that, you know, like, gameplay-wise, couldn't you come up with something more for me to do? Something. Just give me a fetch quest. Just something that's not killing monsters. Like, Jesus.
Part of me does wonder if the way Gran Pulses was actually a bit of a last-minute addition, honestly.
Considering how much is big and everything, and how much amount of work we did, I'm not sure. You can kind of tell when the first half of the game literally stopped and when this one, you know, starts, because Pedro was not joking when he said that in the previous part. It does feel legitimately almost a completely different game at this point.
Yeah.
We're still gonna have linear dungeons after we exit the Arctil step, mind you, but you can definitely feel the difference arriving at this point.
If I may, though, like, this is kind of the only part of Gran Pulse where we'll get to have all this open up step, because once we enter Werba, we're pretty much back to the old song and dance, essentially. So it really just makes me wonder if this bit with the side quest, specifically, was a last-minute addition when somebody had a brief moment of clarity and thought, my God, what have we done?
It's an obvious.
We've pretty much destroyed all the things that were consistent of Final Fantasy.
Again, this is a clear consequence of the game being basically entirely put together in the last year and a half of the development cycle. Like, they couldn't afford to put more things to do in here. Like, it's
also building up onto that, Jova. I do believe that rather than being a last minute kind of thing, this is all they could manage to properly do for this, particular area. You have to remember that around this time, a proper open world area, type of game was only available mostly through sandbox stuff. The closest we will get was something like, say, Far Cry 3, for example.
Okay.
Even then, it was kind of later into the cycle of PS3 and Xbox 360.
Speaking, go on, Teo, sorry.
So, and again, you have to remember that they also had to contend with this kind of engine that was fucking up and the PS3 architecture. It's still not an excuse for, well, almost everything that happened ultimately with the game, especially because you have to remember what I said a little parts ago, the fact that the developers tried to justify themselves by saying weird PR statements like, oh, don't you see, with this kind of technology and on this hardware, it will be impossible or out of touch to actually make the war map or,
we already made fun of that, yeah.
No, it's more to basically say that, it's a combination of things, Jova. This is probably all they could do in the time they were assigned with, rather than being just a last-minute thing. It was their best effort, probably.
So
I don't know how sad I can consider that. Well,
hold on, yes, Pedro?
So yeah, the basic gist of it is we're now going to take a break from the story and do some of this side content because, like Teo said, there's some optional cutscenes in here. Basically, everybody, Teo is a bit concerned that there's quite a lot of really powerful monsters all over Pulse. So basically, to put his heart at ease, we're going to do some monster hunting and take care of all these monsters before they destroy everything.
Are you implying that Teo is the thief who's asking us to do
Yes.
That's the worst fate. Imagine the worst fate, not actually dying, but being stuck in that form and watching reruns of Time and Eternity Defense Rap for the rest of time.
Okay, so basically, after doing a couple of thief missions off screen, trust me, I'm just fighting bigger mooks and not missing anything. We'll get to this point. There's actually an optional cutscene in this particular area of Pulse, so let's take a look at it.
I also really love this dungeons theme, the Asa Massif.
I prefer the Wildlands theme from Lightning Returns. The Subadran Highlands. There you go.
This is essentially, it's part of the canyon where you actually, arrive from, but through a different direction.
It is kind of a shame how much of, I guess, the good stuff of this game that you can miss, sadly, if you're just going straight to the story.
Jova. I was actually concerned originally because some of these cutscenes actually do disappear after if you go through with the game after a certain point, which is kind of a shame because some of these are actually, decent enough that warrant to be actually seen. But I didn't really have to be worried in hindsight because the game actually do mark the spots with that exclamation mark. So there's you kind of can find them if you actually get through this dungeon properly.
So yeah, like I said,
I do think it is a bit player hostile though. If you just want to go for the story, you won't be able to come back here again. For somebody who's
I'll let Pedro say first because I have a counter to that. But go ahead, Pedro first.
Yeah, like I said, Teo is actually a thief stone, and his big regret is all these monsters around Pulse that need to be eradicated. So we're going to eradicate them so that Teo's thief stone form can rest in peace.
Yay!
Really the will of a monster hunter.
It does kind of fit because hunting missions are kind of my favorite type of side quest in this game. And yes, I know that's the other. I'm not a monster hunter fan despite that.
Hold on, Teo. I'm gonna have to interrupt you there.
That's weird.
Hold on, Teo. Hunting quests are your favorite type of side quest in this game. They're the only type of side quest in this game.
No, in general, Pedro.
Well, you said this game though. You said this game though.
Sorry if it came up like that.
Oh, Teo, I have to read this. Actually, no. Never mind. I will read all the analytes later. When I have all of them later.
First of all, essentially, it's not like I think I ate it, but I need to actually get into it more than anything. But to answer your question, Jova, I can tell you this. The first time when I actually played the game, I had literally no guide whatsoever, did not actually ask for anything, and I kind of got all the cutscenes just by naturally, progressing through the game.
That will happen.
That's actually not what I was talking about. I was talking about, say somebody just goes through, if they're playing blind and say they want to go, say their mentality is, I'll do this, and then, I'll come back later to do the side quest here. Then they're plumb out of luck because
true.
You can't really.
I can also tell you that the gameplay-wise, the game kind of incentivizes you to also do this side quest not in a forced kind of way, but kinda, because the dungeon that is right after this raises the difficulty bar unless you have actually grinded enough.
So
Mysterium.
This cutscene actually is the one cutscene that actually does a better job of picking up a more appropriate ship for Hope, Vanille.
Wait. Oh, right, yeah. It's probably more appropriate to ship her with him.
At least gives more characterization to both, which should have been from the start.
Nope, somebody decided we gotta ship Hope with the Lightning instead, and
just taking it all
that is all kinds of wrong.
The sky here, the trees, the sunlight, the
whatever those really tall things are.
Trees.
When I was on Cocoon, I never dreamed a place like this could even exist. But now, here I am, on Pulse.
It's like I've always belonged here.
If I had known who voiced Hope, I would have begged you to put in Everybody Hates Chris clips.
Sorry, Dej.
Because there are so many perfect opportunities in this game for it.
No. I'm sure you would have wound up here. Don't you remember you promised me?
Oh?
You promised me that we'd come and see Grand Pulse together.
That is true, he did.
Yes.
Really? When did I do that?
Oh God, Hope's me.
How about
Ha! Fooled you. He did not.
Dork.
What does that even mean?
To tell you the truth, I've told so many lies.
Yeah, that is a good point. Why aren't you getting repercussions for your lies again?
To keep yourself going, because you're afraid, or to protect someone else, so they don't get hurt.
That is a good point, Hope. But that wasn't even. She did it way too often.
Be lies. At the end of the day, though, it's not the lie that matters, but what you do after you tell it.
What's with this music?
That in itself is its own debate, so I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah.
Maybe we did.
No, what he said about lies.
I don't want to derail the commentary by going into a big debate about that, so I'm just going to ignore it for now.
Thanks, Hope.
I'll just say it's problematic.
Yeah, complicated. Oh, there you go. Vanille, just smile.
And we top it off with the man asking a woman to smile. Fantastic.
And there you go. Guys, and Vanille for some reason, for some reason Vanille interprets this as him saying that he likes her, but turns out Hope was just messing with her.
Now you know how it feels.
Just be glad there aren't any of the monsters to eat you,
jerk.
You've been blue balling me for this entire game, so take that, bitch. How sad is it? You know what's the sad part?
Okay. That was actually a fun scene, I'll give it that.
Yeah, it's one of the better scenes in the game, and it's optional. But you know what's the sad part? That thing that we just saw, Hope messing with Vanille for the lulz, that's the highest bit of repercussion she gets.
Well, again, aside from that thing...
Sorry, Jova. I'll get to it, but as I said, I'm having a hard time even counting that. That's all I'll say for now. Anyway.
Well, I mean, it is a pretty heavy thing, but I do get what you mean in that regard.
It's unearned. It's unearned. Anyway, a hero's charge. Alright, everybody. In the next part, we will continue killing more monsters, and getting more optional cutscenes. So look forward to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
See you then.
Bye.
Oh, and by the way, Shiroi, we're gonna find ourselves some sheep, some more sheep, and we're even gonna.
They're gonna be ugly, aren't they?
I don't particularly care for the design now. See ya, everybody.
This is bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Bad.